Welcome. I am SkyChiTravels Janice Temple, your host for the Skychi Travel Guide every Travel Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central. Let me share with you a little bit about who I am. I'm SkyChiTravels because I love to fly in the sky and I'm from Chi-Town, Chicago. My most recent career was as a flight attendant for 7 years at a regional carrier where I flew across the United States, Canada, and the Bahamas. I am also a travel blogger. I lived as an expat for 6 years with my family in France, Belgium, Venezuela, Argentina, and Turkey. Today, our in-studio guest is Idella Fatou of AARCO Travel. So introduce yourself, Idella.
Hello, everyone out there. My name is Idella Fatou. I am delighted that Janice invited me to talk about travel. I have been in travel for over 30 to 40 years. I have traveled around the world, but today I would like to talk about Africa. Africa is one of the most beautiful and places that you need to go.
Hold on one second. Idella, can you just move up a little bit so the audience can hear you? Yes. So, Idella, tell everybody where AARCO Travel is located.
AARCO Travel is located in South Shore, 2226 East 71st Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60649.
And how long have you been at that location?
We have been at this location over 30 years, serving the community and abroad.
Okay, and you specialize in trips to Africa, that's correct?
Yes, I do. I specialize in trips to Africa, all over Africa. You tell us where, we'll get you there. Not only in Africa, we do cruises, we do the Caribbean, and any place that you want to travel, but my specialty is Africa.
And how long have you been traveling to Africa?
Over 20 years.
So what was the first country that you went to?
Dakar, Senegal, which is the gateway to Africa. It's only 7 hours away out of JFK.
Fantastic. And you have an upcoming trip this year?
Oh, yes. We have an upcoming trip all the time. And this trip will make 3 countries, which is Dakar, Senegal, South Africa, and Zimbabwe.
And Zimbabwe. How many days?
It'll be 21 days. If you're interested, please give us a call at 773-363-9500.
And what can one expect to see during the 21 days in those countries?
Okay, we will make our first stop in Dakar, Senegal, which is a French-speaking country. And you will visit Gorée Island and the statue, the new Renaissance statue that's there. And also we will do a city tour with many history that you will see. After we spend 45 days in Dakar, Senegal, we will travel like 16 more hours to South Africa. Once we arrive into Johannesburg, South Africa, we will go to Cape Town. Fly to Cape Town. It's many hours, but it is worth it. In Cape Town, we will visit Robben Island, where Mandela was in prison for many years. We will explore the gold, the diamonds that they have there. We will also explore the township where the Africans were misplaced and put out of their homes. After that, we will fly back to Johannesburg and go on a safari.
Wow.
And, yeah, that is interesting.
And so what kind of animals does one see on a safari?
The big 5, we will see all type of animals, the lion, the cheetah, the buffaloes, the elephants, and you name it, we will see it. If we get lucky, we will see all the animals.
Okay, fantastic.
And after that, we will fly to Zimbabwe, where Victoria Falls. And Victoria Falls is a beautiful sight, and I don't want anyone to miss Victoria Falls.
Okay, and where can they contact you for this fantastic trip to Africa?
AARCO Travel Agency, 2226 East 71st, 773-363-9500.
Well, thank you for that, Miss Idella. And now we are going to have an interview with Stacey McClain at Sister Girl. She's on OWN's Raising Whitley. She's a reality TV star, and she is currently in Germany or touring Europe for the month. Stacey is a writer-producer who is originally from the south side of Chicago. I believe she went to Dunbar. She met Kym while on a stand-up circuit. Kym Whitley of Raising Whitley. She met her, and both talented ladies of comedy started performing together in various clubs around Los Angeles. So Stacey and Kym instantly became friends, went to film school together in New York, and they have been friends longer than Stacey was married. So Stacey is going to share some insights from Germany. Hi, this is Janice with the Skychi Travel Guide, and we are here every Travel Tuesday at 1 p.m. You can go to urbanbroadcastmedia.com, click on UBM Talk to listen to us on the radio. You can call us with questions or comments at 312-754-4333. You can also download the Free Streams radio app and search for UBM Talk. And our in-studio guest today is Idella Fatou, and she is a travel agent with AARCO Travel Agency. So welcome, Idella.
Thank you, Janice. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad
Just so
to have
delighted.
you. Glad to have you. So we're going to talk today a little bit about Caribbean International Checklist. I've had a lot of phone calls about people traveling, say, to the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, Mexico, of just any tips that things they need to know to go on their cruise, go to their all-inclusive resort. So what are some tips that you would have for a client traveling to the Caribbean?
Number one, you must have a passport. Make sure that you get a passport. And number two, make sure you check to see if any shots that you need or anything like that, because some countries, when you go into, you might need hepatitis A or B because of the food. So make sure you go to your health physician and find out what type of shots you might need to carry with you. The next thing, pack light. We have so many heavy baggage, and you know, now they charge you for every bag. except going international. International, what I mean, not Mexico, not the Caribbean. It's like to Europe, Africa. That's international. And most airlines now you get to travel with baggage free, with no charge. But other airlines going into the Caribbean, you must pay a fee.
Yes, bringing us to the new baggage limitation sizes that have been implemented by United Airlines and Delta. They're requiring that luggage be 14 inches wide, which most manufacturers make standard size 15 inches wide. So your carry-on may not be a carry-on. According to a USA Today article that I read, I guess the fly guy was traveling, and I believe he was at American. He was stopped by a representative in a red jacket, and they were measuring everyone's bag before they went through security. And his normal carry-on bag, which is 15 inches wide, is now not considered a carry-on. It is 14 inches. He had to go back to the check-in counter where there was a very long line to check his carry-on bag. And he said he almost missed his flight. And he is a regular traveler. So he said that I believe it's United, Delta, and American that have those changes, and it's FAA mandatory change. Southwest Airlines and JetBlue don't have those changes at all. So you'll be required to pay $25 for your carry-on bag and possibly be close to missing your flight if you're not prepared. So it pays to have that information. So any other suggestions for people traveling to the Caribbean?
Yeah, when you travel, make sure you stay with your girlfriend or your friends that you came with, because so many travels has been, carried off or murdered, and it's very important that you don't travel outside the hotel that you're staying in by yourself.
Okay, so, well, a woman should stay with a girlfriend,
Right,
or
most definitely.
okay, or her mate or partner. Okay, so those are good tips. Those are good tips. What about communication? What's the best way for somebody to call home or communicate when they're traveling?
You can carry your cell phone. Most cell phones you can take them and you can call home, especially in the Caribbean. It's very easy to call from the Caribbean. You can use your cell phones.
Okay, okay. And they should also, I'm a big believer in global entry or TSA pre-clear, because on your return trip, if you're, say, going through Miami, you have to clear customs. The customs and immigration line could be very long. So if you apply for a global entry card, which allows you you get a little card, and it allows you to go to a kiosk, and you put your fingers on there, it reads your eyes, and you're done in like two minutes, and you're on through customs and security. Sometimes in Miami or even in Chicago, when you're clearing customs, you'll have 3, 4, 5 747s or 737s that come in with 300-400 passengers on it. That's a lot of people to stand in line behind. So you could be in customs and immigrations for an hour or two standing there. So it's well worth the $100. It's $100 for 5 years for the global entry card and the TSA pre-clear. So I definitely recommend that. Let's see. And what about duty free? Do you have any?
Okay, let me expand on customs.
Okay.
When you go through customs, be friendly, be happy. Do not give them a hard time. because they can detain you up to a day, 6 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It all depends on who you are talking to. So be friendly, be nice, whatever they ask you, and they say, welcome back home, and you should say thank you, and be courteous with them, be nice, and you'll get through custom with no problems at all.
Okay, we are about to take a break. So if you want to join the conversation, you can call us at 312-754-4333. If you have any questions about an upcoming trip, or if you want to make comments and share your experiences, give us a call at 312-754-4333. This is a 2-minute break.
What time is it now?
It's almost 1:30 now. It
Almost
ends at
what?
2. It ends at 2.
1:30. Oh, okay, that's almost 1:30. Now I have a young man that travel all over.
Hi, this is Janice, SkyChiTravels of the SkyChi Travel Guide Live. You can listen to us online at urbanbroadcastmedia.com, UBM Talk Live. You can call in to Urban Broadcast Media with questions or comments at 312-754-4333. We want to ask you to like us on Facebook at the SkyChi Travel Guide and subscribe to our blog, the SkyChiTravelGuide.com. And today, our in-studio guest is Idella Fatou of AARCO Travel Agency. And so tell the guests, give a little recap of who you are and where your agency is located.
Okay, my name is Idella Fatou. Our travel agency is named AARCO Travel Agency and Tours. We are located at 2226 East 71st Street, right at the corner of 71st and Luella. Chicago, Illinois, 60649 is in the South Shore. We have been serving South Shore community and other locations for over 30 years.
Okay, and the phone number?
The phone number is 773-363-9500.
Fantastic. So, Ellen, Idella and I have been talking a little bit about a Caribbean international checklist. I've received a few phone calls of what people should do or take with them. And so far we have talked about customs, immigrations and customs. Idella gave some good tips about how to act in customs. Basically, be warm, friendly, smile. You don't want to get detained.
Most definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. And I also suggested that you get a global entry card with a TSA pre-clear. That's $100 for 5 years to shorten your wait in customs and immigration so that it's not an hour or 2 hours. And we also talked a little bit about Africa. So you want to mention your trip to Africa that's coming up?
Okay, the trip to Africa is in October the 7th. The trip to Africa is October the 7th this year. And it's like 21 days, and we will be visiting 3 countries, which is wonderful. Dakar, Senegal will be our first stop. We're leaving out of Washington, and from your city. We will pay for you to come from your city, where it might be Los Angeles, Chicago, Detroit. We will all meet up in Washington. And from Washington, we'll take South African Airways, all the way to Dakar, Senegal. And in Dakar, Senegal, many presidents have visited Dakar, Senegal, President Obama, President George Bush, to go to Gorée Island to see many, many slaves that was shipped through the transatlantic. And it is really interesting to see. We also would like to visit the Renaissance. We will visit the Renaissance statue, where the president of Senegal had a vision that with the statue you have your mother, your father, and the baby coming out of the earth, and it is saying welcome back home. And this means welcome back home to all the African people that was sent from their island. And then we will travel to South Africa. Our first stop will be in Johannesburg, from Johannesburg to Cape Town. And in Cape Town, we will visit, of course, the most famous Robben Island, where Mandela was held in prison for many, many years. That is a very, very sad island to visit, but everyone, it's a must-see. It's a must-see for everyone. And after that, we're going on a safari and see many, many animals, the elephant, the giraffes, the zebras, and that is interesting. When I first went on a safari, I said, Black folks, they don't travel, they don't go to safari, but it's the most wonderful experience that you ever can have. And then from there, we will go to back to Johannesburg, and we will visit Soweto, which is one of the largest settlements of Africans in the country of South Africa. From there, we will visit, fly many trips, many planes, fly to Zimbabwe, and you need a visa to go into Zimbabwe, but you do not need a visa to go into South Africa, but you need a visa recently for the last 2 years to fly into Dakar, Senegal. So when we, we get our visas at the border when we get there. So you will need a visa to go into Zimbabwe, and you have many elephants. We went on an elephant ride there, and you can also do the same thing. It's very safe. And on the elephant ride, from the elephant ride to Victoria's Falls, which is one of the most beautiful falls, is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And then we will head back home with lots of memories and all the things that we can ever think about in the world. This is a one-time trip, so I'm hoping that you would come and join AARCO Travel at 773-363-9500.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that. That sounds like an amazing 21 days to be in Africa. So if you're interested, definitely contact Idella at AARCO Travel Agency. Now we're going to get back to our Caribbean International checklist. So you have mentioned that the first thing that a person needs is a passport. What's the difference between the is it the passport card?
The passport card is only for 2 years. The passport is for 10 years.
And where does the card allow you to go?
Okay, it allows you to travel all over.
Okay.
Yeah, and also the passport but it's very important to get a passport because you can go any place on your passport. And a travel card sometimes is limited. And, a lot of countries, they might not want you to use the travel card. And I'm not sure what countries those are.
Okay. So definitely get your passport. You can go online. You can go to the post office. There are various ways to get your passport, but you definitely need a passport to travel. I think it's something like maybe 10% of American population has a passport. Yes. Isn't that sad?
Yes.
People just are not traveling. They get a passport card to go on a cruise, right, but they don't get a full passport. Right. And we're recommending that you get your passport because that will allow you to travel anywhere just like
in the world.
Anywhere in the world. So your passport is worth it. And it lasts for 10 years, right?
Yes. And one thing to remember, you need a birth certificate.
Need a birth certificate.
You need a birth certificate to get your passport.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that, Idella. And so there are travel advisories at Newark Airport because the air train is under construction. And I remember reading on a blog, I think it was Johnny Jett, he was telling people to avoid Newark Airport. Newark was traditionally like I guess, an inexpensive way to get to New York. It's closer to New York than actually LaGuardia or JFK Airport, Newark was. But now that it's under construction, I mean, it's costing like maybe $100 round trip when they used to have like a motor coach bus. So when you're traveling, it's a good idea to go to the website for the airport that you'll be traveling through, even your connecting airports. So that's a good source of information to look for so that you're aware of any construction or advisories at those airports. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what a travel agent is, the definition of a travel agent. So what's the definition of a travel agent?
The definition of a travel agency is someone who you can trust, someone you can call all times of night, someone that if you get stranded in any country, you can always call us. And as we are friendly, we deliver your information to you, your travel documents, if you cannot make it to the office. We are someone that you can call and ask any type of questions that you might need to be answered. And we are just a travel agent all around.
Okay, fantastic.
We are here for you and we do for you.
Wonderful. So there was a recent article in the USA Today by Christopher Elliott, and it's titled, "What You Don't Know About Your Ticket Can Cost You." And so there is a bill that is being introduced where they are saying that the airlines are not telling the public what all the fees are. And I guess I personally have issue with that because I think that it is the search engines or the online booking engines that don't disclose all the fees.
Oh, well, if you book through a travel agency, we tell you all the fees before you get started.
Okay.
And so all you have to do, we will tell you everything. And they do sometimes hide the fees from you, but we will not. You will know what you need to pay, how much you will have to pay when you leave AARCO Travel Agency.
Okay, fantastic. So this article, they started calling like I guess Orbitz, Expedia, Priceline. They're beginning to call those travel agencies. Is that a travel agency to you?
No, it's not a travel agency. They are just trying to get as much business as they can. And one thing I advise all of you not to book your ticket international with Expedia or any of them. Go to a travel agency, because once you get overseas, what will happen, you cannot get in touch with them. But with your travel agent, you can always get in touch with them. So keep that in mind when you go online to book your tickets.
Yes, and also another thing that most passengers don't know, even if you're not traveling overseas, if you're just traveling domestically and you purchase your ticket through, say, Priceline or Orbitz or Travelocity, you're not the airline's customer. You're the customer of Orbitz, Travelocity, or Priceline. And so sometimes if it rains and the flight cancels, your ticket may have you stuck in the airport for a few hours or a few days. That cheap ticket is not so cheap anymore. It becomes your time. Whereas a person who books through the airlines, they can be transferred to say if you book your ticket on American, they will rebook you on United, Delta, they will rebook you on another carrier. If you purchase your ticket through Priceline, you don't have that option. You have to wait until there's an available seat on the airline that you purchased the ticket on. So some people have been in the airport for 3-4 days. I've seen them as a flight attendant. And it's not pretty. You don't want to get stuck, especially when it's busy, like this, summer or the holiday season. You don't want to get stuck in the airport for a canceled flight, or if you miss your flight and you pay for your hotel and then you miss being at the resort, and it's all because you did not purchase your ticket with the airline. So it's very, very important. And as I had never thought about the fact that once you're, say, in Europe or Africa, that you can't call Orbitz.
No, you cannot.
Can't call Travelocity.
No.
So there are cases when you're traveling that you should use a travel agent. And a lot of times people complain about travel agency fees. So let's talk a little bit about travel agency fees. What are they getting in exchange for paying a fee to talk to a travel agent?
Well, they are getting a personality. When you come into our travel agency, we greet you with warmth and hospitality and welcome you to our agency, where when you go online, you just sit there, and you can pay by cash, you can pay by credit card, but online is strictly credit card. And many of the travels that we have said that their credit cards is up to the limited, and they come to us and they wanted to pay by check or by money order, but not by credit card. And so that's one of the things, by using a travel agency, we can ask all your questions. Many times we have clients calling, so I book through Expedia or other ones, and they say, would you help me with this? And we will. And we said, next time, make sure you use a travel agency.
Okay. So let's get back to some of our hot topics, which is, say, for example, a representative at Priceline being called a travel agent, or a representative at Orbitz being called a travel agent.
They are not travel agencies. They are just consolidators out to book as many tickets as they can. And sometimes you have to be really careful, because when they put prices on, you say you get an airline ticket going to San Diego. Sometimes you have to change planes 3 and 4 times. And you never think about a direct flight. A flight just stops one time, but you want the cheapest ticket, and so you will book that ticket. And sometime in the wintertime, forget it. You do not want to be changing planes. because you might get stranded in that city. But it's very inconvenient if you don't know all about traveling.
Yes, yes. And most people, when they go online to book a ticket, they truly don't know how to book a ticket. As a flight attendant, I've had many passengers who say, I have a tight connection. I have a 40-minute connection. And whenever they say that, I know instantly that they went thinking they were buying a cheap ticket, and they bought it online at Travelocity or Priceline or Expedia. Yeah, because those tickets do not give you a chance to, I guess, change your connection time. What is offered to you is a 40-minute connection. At an airport like Chicago O'Hare, 40 minutes is not enough time for a connection. That's almost a guaranteed misconnection. And so many people are running through the airport. You see them running, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. And it's crazy when the frustration really lies in your planning. People are blaming the airlines, but it's the lack of knowledge that is frustrating passengers when they're traveling, because they don't know how to purchase tickets. And that's what it is. You should go to a travel agency, pay the fee, get some knowledge, ask questions, be able to talk to people, or you should go on to the airline website, enroll in their rewards membership, and purchase your ticket online. When you purchase your ticket with the airline, you're given connection windows. You can make your connection 90 minutes. You can make your connection an hour and a half. If you're traveling international, your connection should be 3 hours or more. There is no way you should be doing 40-minute connections. I mean, the standard
missed flight.
Yeah, the standard rule used to be 90 minutes for a connecting flight, right?
Yes.
But the public doesn't know that. So they're getting 40-minute connections, and then they're missing their all-inclusive resort. They missed the first night. They're stuck in the airport for a few days. So it's that cheap ticket is not so cheap. It really isn't. So just be careful with that. So if you want to call in and join the conversation, you can call us at 312-754-4333. And another question that I had asked by some friends, I guess, was on accessible travel. So I have a relative, and it's difficult for her to get around. And so for people who need wheelchairs, basically you have to call the airline reservation and book directly with the airline. You can request a wheelchair, you can request the electric cart, but that requires planning beforehand. And so if you go to a knowledgeable travel agent instead of trying to book it yourself online, then you would have that information. So you have any other tips on, say, people travel? Yeah, traveling with handicaps. Have you ever had that on going to your trips to Africa where somebody needed special assistance to get around?
Yes, and it's very inconvenient because they put them in the plane from the back of the plane, not up the stairs, and they have a lift for you to be lifted. But all the airplanes, they have the necessarily equipment to get you on the airplanes. But we don't have too many wheelchairs or someone that's not able to travel, but just a few.
Okay. I know that I've had quite a few passengers that pre-board with wheelchairs. I mean, I've even had wheelchair basketball teams on my flight where we had to load 60 wheelchairs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that took about an hour to do that. So, I mean, it's quite common for people to request wheelchairs. And airports are quite large, and sometimes it's difficult for elderly people to get around. But the best way is to call the airline directly, request the wheelchair, make sure that it's in your reservation, and you can also request electric carts as well. So for those who require accessible assistance. So I would say, call, hey, it might cost you a few dollars to talk to somebody, but it's worth it. It will save you money in the long run. So it is just definitely worth it.
One good thing about the wheelchairs, you're the first one to get loaded onto the plane.
Yes, they do pre-board.
Yeah, pre-board all the time. And that's one good thing. And it's not very hard to call the airlines and get a wheelchair. It's very convenient, and just call, and your travel agent will book it with your ticket if you ask them for a wheelchair. And it's easy, it's convenient, and plus you have someone to pick you up when you get out of your car and take you all the way to the gate, pick you up at the airline when it lands, and bring you back to the gate. So it's very convenient. And remember, if you travel, ask someone to push you, and sometimes you're kind of heavy, give them a tip. Just give them a tip for taking you. Sometimes if you say in Miami, sometimes you had to walk almost a mile to get from the domestic to the international, and just think about the hard work that they are doing. So give the people a tip when they take you on the plane.
Okay, that is true. Yes, you should definitely tip people. It makes a big difference in the level of service that you receive as well. I want to talk a little bit about purchasing airline tickets with rewards cards. You could use an airline credit card or a debit card, but you should purchase something that allows you to get points. So it starts first with your card, even before you purchase the ticket. It's very important to get points. That allows you to continue to keep traveling. So if you're going to spend your money, if you're going to spend $500, you can get a card that will give you 2 times the points. So you'll get 1,000 points for spending your $500 on a ticket that you can put toward your next vacation. And cruise lines have points as well, don't they?
Almost definite. You can, go from cabin A all the way to the top. But you must travel more than one time in order to get these points, But airlines, you can travel one time. You can use your points for your next ticket. And, like Janice was saying, credit cards and Mileage Plus and all of these good tips that you need to know. Anytime, register, enroll with the airlines for you can get your points when you travel. Don't say I'm only going to travel one time. You never know. So make sure when you get ready to travel, go online, enroll where you can get your points, and you can get your free trips as you travel.
Great, great. Let's talk a little bit. We only have a couple of minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about FunJet Vacations or Apple Vacations. Those are vacation specialists. They're not necessarily travel agencies, but they're very knowledgeable. They do excellent training with their staff. So if you call and talk to the customer service rep, chances are they have been to the resort that you're interested in. And they do great training for travel agents as well.
Almost definite. They take us on fam trips. Fam trips are to familiarize yourself with the country, with the hotels before you travel. So we can come back and talk to our clients about where to go, what to do. But FunJet and Apple Vacation, they are very good. And if we book you through FunJet and Apple Vacation, there is no fee from the travel agency because they pay travel agency to book with them.
Wonderful. That is great. So definitely look for the FunJet Vacation specials. I will be posting some on the SkyChi Travel Guide blog. So you can go to SkyChiTravelGuide.com and check that out, and like us on Facebook at the Skychi Travel Guide as well. We have some great specials with FunJet Vacations. And then Idella has an upcoming trip to Africa, so tell people a little bit about your trip again.
Okay. We don't only have trips to Africa. We have trips to the Caribbean. We have trips to Las Vegas. And our motto is, you tell us where and we will get you there. So don't just think about Africa or the Caribbean. We do trips all over. If you want to taste wine, if you just want to go for a stroll, and enjoy life, just tell us and we'll get you there. But our upcoming trip for South Africa, Senegal, and Zimbabwe will be October the 7th. And if you want more information, please call AARCO Travel 2226 C71st, Chicago, Illinois 60649. Our phone number is 773-363-9500.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Idella, for that, and I appreciate you joining with us today.
Oh, thank you,
and
Janice.
Definitely, your travel agent is a resource. It is worth the fees. Don't balk about the fees to go and get their knowledge. She has been traveling to Africa for 20 years. AARCO Travel Agency has been in the business for 30 years, and they know what they're talking about. So go and see Idella and the staff at AARCO Travel Agency. And we want to thank you for joining with us on UBM Talk on urbanbroadcastmedia.com. And download the Free Streams radio app and search for UBM Talk. Ciao.
Bye.